folks, welcome to another video. I think this video is going to be a bit of a hit and run operation. I don't think we're going to be on site here for very long. As you will just have seen in the little bit of video that I shared a moment ago, I've come down to Pendeen in West Cornwall this evening to try and shoot some sunset light. I don't know exactly what we're going to get. What we're going to get right now, because I can see it coming, is rain coming across towards me. So I think in a moment I'm probably going to be switching this off and covering my gear up because we're going to get wet. But I'm hoping that we're going to get some sunset light. I've already spotted 2 or 3 compositions that I want to try and shoot. We haven't got a lot of time. It's only about half an hour now until sunset. As you can see, we've actually got some cloud in the sky. It's actually looking quite nice. So I've got a composition that I want to work with already. It's this composition behind me. I don't know how well you can see this. Let me move out of the way. So there we go. Look, you've got that lovely V shape there. We've got the shape of the bay. Some beautiful light on the cliffs over there. I'm not sure the name of this cove, but I'll try and find out and put it in the video description for you. It's looking really nice. I want to do a little long exposure there. And then I've spotted, and you won't be able to see them for a moment, there's a little cluster of rocks just out here to my right-hand side. I want to try and get a nice exposure on that with some cloud movement in the background, possibly. We'll see. That sun is getting quite low to the horizon. Like I said, there is plenty of cloud around. There's some nice cloud overhead. We might actually get some nice light. It might pick up some colour. But basically, I'm just going to have to crack on and get set up and start trying to shoot. Like I said, the rain is starting to come down now. So I may well end up having to cover the gear up a moment. Don't know how long it's going to last for, but we're just going to. I'm going to crack on. I'm going to get the camera set up. I'm going to get a long exposure set up and on the go, and then I'll talk you through it as we're going. So let's get on with some work. So I wasn't wrong. It chucked it down. I know you probably can't tell. I am now wet and cold. So what a great start, eh? Little bit of advice for you. Little word of advice for you that I was given many years ago by Melvin Nicholson. I'm sure many of you will probably know Melvin's work. Fantastic landscape photographer. Melvin, if you're watching, hello. Clear shower hair nets, plastic ones. Keep some of those in your camera bag, because when it rains, you can put those over the gear, all set up, and everything stays nice and dry, and you've just got to find some shelter yourself or put your hood up or whatever you're going to do. But these are absolutely brilliant. I've just whacked a couple of these, one over the camera and one over the camera I'm filming on, which is my phone, and it's done the job. Everything's bone dry. I've just taken it all off again, and I'm ready to shoot. So camera's all set up. I've got the camera in bulb mode because I'm going to go for a fairly long exposure. I've got my Nisi True Color CPL on there. I've got my 3-stop medium GND because there's still a bit of brightness in that sky, as you can see behind me. And I've got my 10-stop ND in place. Once that's all set up, everything's focused and I'm happy with it. The exposure time that was given me was 3 minutes and 25 seconds. So that's a bulb mode, F11, ISO 100. And the ISO 100 is because that light has dropped now, but I still need that sensitivity. So I'm just trying to make sure that I'm getting the right amount of light into the image. So I've got that set up. And what I've done, I don't know if you can see it very well from here, but basically as you're looking at that, you've got that line there with the tripod is, yeah? So I've got a nice V shape for this bay. And then hopefully, when it's done, we'll get a nice long exposure of the bay, the cliffs on the far side. That light that I had at the beginning of the video there has just gone because the cloud has come across and the sun has just sunk into it. But there is a lovely glow just at the base of that cloud where it meets the horizon line, and I'm hoping, really hoping, that we're going to get some nice light through there in a minute. So I'm going to get this going. So 3 minutes and 25 seconds of exposure, ISO 100, F11. I'm in bulb mode. I'm going to get that on the go. Once that's done, I'm going to pop that up on the screen for you, and then I'm going to turn you around and show you the other composition that I'm looking at, which is a fairly minimalist composition, and hopefully we get a nice long exposure on that again, which is this little cluster of rocks out here. So hopefully that image is done by the time I finish talking, and you can take a look at it now. So I've moved location and I've literally come about 10 yards from where we were for the last shot. The last shot was actually taken from just up behind where the camera is. Now as you can see, I've got the camera positioned here already. I'm looking out to sea here. Can you see where the patches of white are out there? I don't know if you can see the rocks very well because of the conditions, but there are actually there are four rocks there. So what I've done is I've set the camera up again for a nice long exposure. The light is fairly stable at the moment, so I'm still getting the same exposure time. So it's the same setup as it was just now, exactly the same. I'm using my 24 to 105mm lens. I've got my Nisi True Color CPL. I've got my medium 3-stop GND, and I've got my 10-stop ND. And again, that's giving me 3 minutes and 25 seconds of exposure. I have already taken that image, and it's looking. I think it's looking really nice. I'm really quite pleased with it. It's quite minimalist, but you've got a lot of that movement out there in the water. Obviously, I'm going to pop that up on the screen in a moment for you to have a look at. Again, with the camera, f11, ISO 100. It's in bulb mode because I've gone beyond the native 30-second exposure that's built into the camera. But that's looking really nice. But I really want to go across this way now, because if I buzz you around, and or if I undo this, if it'll turn, and I buzz you around a little bit, can you see that gorgeous bit of light that's right there by the lighthouse? And I really want to try and capture that. So I'm going to pack the camera gear down for a moment, and we're going to move back in that direction to try and get a shot to capture that beautiful light. And who knows, maybe we get some sunset color over there. We'll wait and see. But here's that image anyway up on the screen for you to take a look at. So I've ended up taking that shot from actually the same spot as I've shot those rocks. And that was because as soon as I stopped talking to you, then I could see that the light was quite clearly going. And there was just very little point in trying to run over here a little bit further to get the shot. So unfortunately, if I turn around, you can see that light is not doing very well over there at the moment. So what I'm going to do, that cloud is really quite heavy and thick now. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back across the other side of the car park here at Pendeen and down over the path, the cliffs a little bit. There's a path that leads down over there, and I'm going to try and shoot some long exposure images of the cove the other side, looking back towards Giver. Hopefully that'll work for me. We'll wait and see. I don't think we're going to get much of a sunset now, unfortunately, but that's just one of those things. That cloud on the horizon is looking quite thick, and I mean, it's quite a nice glow there, but it's not giving me what I want, really. So I think if we go back across to the cove the other side of Pendeen here, and see if we can find a composition looking back towards Giver, and see what I can come up with for you. And stay tuned. You never know what might happen next. Check this out. We have got some really nice movement in there at the moment. Wow. Not massive waves coming in there, but big enough. See, there's that bit of sunset glow, look, that's all that's left. Absolutely stunning. Just wanted to show you that quickly, really, before I get the camera set up. There's the camera. So I'm going to get the camera set up a moment. I'm already in portrait orientation, which is how I want to shoot this image. I don't know if you can see it out there. You can just see some stacks out there towards Giver. So I'm going to set this up. I think I'm going to change over from my 10-stop to either the 6 or the 3-stop. I'll decide in a moment when I actually have a look and see what it's looking like on the histogram on the back of the camera. And let's get some images of this taken. I don't think I want a very long exposure on this. I want to try and capture that movement. I don't want to flatten the image off. I want to actually capture that movement. So it's not going to be a hideously long exposure like some of them have been, but particularly see the way that water's running down off those rocks. That's what I want to capture. I want to capture that movement and the texture. So let me get this set up before that light disappears completely. I don't know if you can see it. Moon's up there as well, look. Right, let's get this camera set up and we'll take some shots. So I've taken several images already. As you can see, there's the camera. And that is pretty much the view that I'm looking at there. just beautiful. The movement in that tonight is just absolutely beautiful. But it's quite cold out here now, and that wind has really picked up. I'm trying to stand on my back to the wind so that you can actually hear me, because I don't know how well the microphone is picking up the sound. And I've noticed that the camera on the tripod is actually vibrating. So if there's any movement, I apologise. There's just very little I can do about it. So basic setup, same again, 24-105mm lens. I've got my Nisi True Colour CPL in there. I've got my 3-stop medium GND, because there is still some bright spots in that sky. And now I've switched over to my 3-stop ND. Now, what I'm looking for is a shutter speed of about half a second. So in order to maintain that shutter speed of about half a second, I've had to bump my ISO up to 800. And I wouldn't normally do that unless I was kind of shooting astro, in which case sort of 1600, 3200, etc. But I've had to bump the ISO up to 800 for this shot, because the light has dropped, and I need that light, I need that sensitivity of the light on the sensor. So I've had to do that. I've also, instead of shooting at f11, I'm shooting at f8. Again, to open the aperture up and allow a little bit more light, trying to capture a bit more of this light that's around. So I've taken several images to try and capture the movement of that wave, the waters, the power that's down there. I'm not really going to know how well that's come out until I get it home and look at it on the computer screen, on the bigger monitor. But on the back of the screen, it's looking really nice. So I'll pop that up in a moment, and you can take a look at that. I'm not sure if I'm going to get much more out of this tonight. The light has really dropped off now. And yeah, now, can you see this haze? Can you see this sort of sea mist behind me here? That's not actually the camera. That is actually the mist. It's like that fine spray coming up. I mean, if we'd had some light, that would have been absolutely stunning. But that haze is not my camera lens. It's actually the haze behind me coming up from the spray off the rocks. So. I think I probably am pretty much done, but if I find anything else, I'll come back to you. I was here a few evenings ago when we had some much better light, ironically. I came to scout and have a look and see what I was going to be able to do. And I've got some images from that particular shoot. So what I'm going to do is I'll put those on at the end of the video, so you can see what it looks like with some better light. Some more images of the actual Pendeen Lighthouse itself. Hopefully they've come out all right. But if I find anything else, I'll come back to you. But in the meantime, this probably is the end of the video, so please do consider liking the video, subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for all your support, and hopefully I'll see you again in another video very soon.